Welcome back to the Apartment 83 podcast. It's me and Tom again.
Hello.
It's what we do.
Tuesday.
Apparently some of you like it. And we appreciate y'all. AF, MFers.
We love you. I love it.
Are you going like with an Italian theme there? Like a creepy Italian plumber?
Yes.
She will be mine.
Mine. Do you remember, what's the name of that movie? The Interview with Seth Rogen and Franco?
Oh, fuck yeah. The one that Sony wouldn't put out. Yeah. So they're like, all right, we're going to release it anyway. And it was on Netflix. Yeah, fuck you.
Where he meets that one woman and she rips off his shirt and he's super hairy. And she's like, oh, I love it. It's so funny.
You're so hairy.
I just add the B at love from now on. Oh, I love you.
I love it. It's so good.
I love you. But yeah, I am obsessed with this fucking Glock, dude. Obsessed with it.
So we're on the gun talk already. Okay, cool.
Sorry.
All right, I'm glad that we stick to themes on this podcast. It's good that we stick to our wheelhouse, guns, comedy, some inspirational bullshit. You know, it's good. It's good.
Things that we enjoy, I guess.
Legalizing drugs. Boy, you know, we're a real diverse couple of well-read dudes.
I beg it. I did want to tell a story. We were talking about cops earlier today. And what ended up happening was you told me the story how you got pulled over and the dude asked Holly if you...
Yeah.
But I lent my car to my friend the one time. He had to go get pot, but I didn't want to fucking drive. But he's like, yeah, I'll go. I don't care. So I was like, yeah, go ahead, take my car. And what ended up happening was about an hour later, he called me. He's like, yeah, I got pulled over, man. I'm really sorry. He's like, but I gave him all the information on you and like, what?
What do you mean?
Like he said it because it was my car and I let him. He's like,
oh, okay,
he's like, it's my friend Tom.
Okay,
he
gotcha.
gave him the name and all that shit. So the cop was cool to my buddy, but he got pulled over because he came to a stop at the yellow light.
So he stopped early.
Yes.
Oh.
But he backed up, and I guess that gave the cop permission to pull him over and shit.
You're too far forward into maybe the crosswalk as you're stopping at the yellow, but backing up to actually give the crosswalk clearance, which is a ticket they can offer you, they can issue you if you're blocking the crosswalk.
Yeah.
That gave the... Okay, anyway, continue.
But he backed up, and I guess according to my friend, the cop thought it was weird that he backed up at the light, and it was just typical cop fashion, I guess. But what ended up happening was, so he calls me, he's like, yeah, I got pulled over. They're not going to give me a ticket or anything, but because it's not my car, they don't want me to drive or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I go there. Mm-hmm. He's right in front of Albright Knox.
Okay.
So not too far from here, actually.
Yeah.
I get there, and the cop's laughing. And my buddy Corey's there. And my buddy Corey's looking at this cop. I guess he played hockey with him or shit like that. But it doesn't... It's totally a side note. But typical Tom Falcone fucking fashion. I give the dude my license, and he comes back. He's like, yeah, your license is suspended. And we just burst out laughing. And it was just like typical. Like, I was like, how the fuck are we going to get home?
Right.
But the cop was just like... I'm going to go the other way. I suggest you stop at every single stop sign. You use your turn signals. He's like, I'm not going to say that nobody else is going to pull you over. He's like, but I'm not going to pull you over. I hope you get home.
Wow.
So it was really cool.
It seems rare, man.
Yeah.
It seems like a rarity these days.
I hopped in the fucking blue Honda Civic and got home.
I remember that Honda Civic.
Yeah.
I remember that car.
I loved that thing. That thing was pretty fast.
It was, you know... Those little, because they're light. That's why.
I love the steering wheel.
They're pretty
the steering
quick.
wheel was so small and perfect.
Yeah.
It was like
It's back when there was those razor thin steering wheels that if like you got into an accident and you fell forward, it would slice your throat open.
Was it that thin? I don't remember.
Nah, I'm talking like 1964 Ford Fairlane. What's up, Tyler? So I just, I sometimes you can catch a break. Sometimes you just, it's in that moment you need that in that day. You're just like, you're having a bad run of luck, and the officer just goes, yeah, this guy's having a bad run. It's like, you know, and they'll still be stern with you because they have to be. And you're still breaking the law, but it's like whatever it is, it's not that bad. You haven't.
It's almost
you're not trafficking narcotics. You haven't killed anyone. So.
They could tell that you didn't mean to break the law. You didn't even know, like, just like this, or just typical figures. Oh, your license is suspended. How? I was like, how is it suspended? Why? He's like, and I forgot exactly why it was suspended. It had something to do with me. I had to miss something because I had to leave. I don't remember. I guess it doesn't matter, but
You had like a court date for a ticket or something, and you left for tour, right?
something like that.
I think it was
something like that. But I thought I'd taken care of it before I left, but I guess not. But he let us go, and it was really nice of him. We got home and got our weed. So yeah,
that'll happen.
good times.
How do we
good
get onto
times.
that? Oh, just from conversation from before. So we are T-minus what? Today's the 12th. What is today? The 12th?
Today is the
Dude, we're
11th.
We're 2 weeks from Christmas. We're 2 weeks from Christmas Day.
2 weeks from
2 weeks.
Christmas.
What the fuck? Do you have your shopping done?
No.
No. That's the classic question. Have your shopping done? Yeah, asshole. I do, because I have Amazon Prime and I'm not a loser. Well, guess what? We both are losers, apparently. And I have access to Amazon Prime.
I don't... Dude, all those, like... people with their doorbell cameras and shit like that. Have you ever seen those videos
Yeah.
with the people just walking up on their
stealing
lawn and just
packages?
stealing?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that makes me so mad. Like, I think that's why I stopped ordering from Amazon. I don't trust it anymore. If I do it, I next day it and I make sure I'm home.
That's the one
Staying
problem.
there.
It's not because it's not Amazon's fault. It's not any it's not any shipper's fault. It's literally the fucking shitbags that live around you who are stealing stuff.
Yeah, it's so weird. How come people do that?
I don't know. Poorness, sense of entitlement. They want to fuck the system, but you're really just fucking your fellow man.
Yeah.
Who's being fucked by the system for free shipping. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. That's a real trash bag move, though.
Like the one lady, she totally deserved it. I feel bad even saying that she deserved it.
Which one?
She went up to go steal a bunch of shit, but she ran away. She slipped and broke her fucking leg.
Oh, yeah, fuck you. You deserve to break your leg.
Totally deserve it.
I wouldn't say you deserve to die.
No, not deserve to die. But
Not a coma, but you break your
leg.
leg. That's karma coming back at you, bitch.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's how that works.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking people, man. So, 'tis the holiday season. We're all in a giving mood.
Fuck you for stealing. How about that?
Fuck you for stealing. I'm going to give you a broken leg here. But I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to will that you slip and fall on the lawn.
I'm going to will it.
What was that accent?
It was an Italian.
It doesn't matter.
Italian dude that meets an Irish.
It don't matter. None of this matters. Man.
You said something about David Goggins.
Oh, gee, so you texted me last night and said, have you listened to the Rogan episode with David Goggins? If nobody knows who David Goggins is, go check out David Goggins, Goggins. This dude is a fucking savage.
Beast.
Just a monster of a person.
I've never even seen him. I just put the voice to the face and
He was on Rogan's podcast, I think for the first time, like maybe last year. And I listened to it a while ago. Tom just listened to it last night?
Last night.
He starts out, so here's the story. He and his brother, actually, he was the first kid born at Millard Fillmore Suburban. There's a Buffalo tie. He says it early on.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
part.
he or his brother, I think he's the older of the two, was the first kid born. I think he was the first kid born, first child born at Millard Fillmore Suburban Hospital on Maple in Amherst, which is where I was born. Actually, my brother, sister, and myself were all born. So he was a Buffalo native, which is fucking crazy.
So sick. That's why I was like super intrigued by it. I was like, huh.
So the long and the short, the quick that I can remember is his dad, who had custody of them for some time for whatever reason, was a giant piece of shit, but owned and operated a roller rink, and I don't know which one, but there was a few of them back in the day here.
So a rainbowrollerrink
in Buffalo, and he operated one of them apparently, and they were like at 8, 9, 10 years old, like forced to like work at the roller rink with him. So I just thought, not only are you from Buffalo originally, born here, not only were you the first person born in the hospital I was born in, but you also had some kind of tie-in to a Buffalo staple of a fucking roller rink, which is insane. Granted, they were all over the country, but I think there's still one here.
There's two here.
There's still two?
There's Rainbow-Roller-Rink in somewhere.
Is that the one up by Eastern Hills?
I think
Transit?
so.
That's still Rainbow? Okay.
No, that's not Rainbow. That
wasn't Rainbow?
I don't remember that one, but I remember being a kid in middle school. That was the place to go. Rainbow Roller Rink wasn't the spot to go.
Yeah.
That one by the... What mall was it? Eastern Hills Mall?
Eastern Hills.
Yeah, the one by the Eastern Hills Mall was it.
I guess that wasn't Rainbow. Either way, you know, I should have my paper out writing all this stuff down.
You want your receipt?
Yeah, give me that and a pen. In that cup. The blue cup behind the screen.
Ugh.
Sorry to make you get up. We were not prepared today, guys. Sorry. Spent some money buying a few Christmas decorations to get prepared for this broadcast for next week. Really hoping it's going to come off well. We're crossing our fingers. We're doing our best, all right? We're just like everybody else in the middle and lower middle and lower middle. We're all just trying, right? At David Goggins. He'll never look at this. Rainbowrollerrink. Rainbow.
What is the name of that roller rink? Hang on.
Look it up. But anyway, so he's from here originally, and so here's the deal. They move Louisiana, somewhere eastern side of the country, but states and states down. His mom actually takes the two of them and escapes his dad. And flash forward to he's a young adult. He's over 300 something pounds. He's working overnights as an exterminator in like a Denny's or something. Drinking like chocolate milkshakes and eating like shit every single day, right? And then he's working an overnight job at one of these places, and something happens there, and I don't remember what it is. You need to go listen to this episode with David Goggins, the original one, because it's totally worth the listen. But he just goes, "Yeah, no, this isn't working anymore. This isn't right. I can't keep doing this." And he like leaves his canister, his like killing roach canister, whatever the fuck, the pesticide, and just walks off the job and leaves. And he just begins ultimately like working out and stuff and changing his life and changed his diet and changed everything. It was that spark moment that so many of us need to have. Myself, I still need to have. Tom, we've talked about it. Need to have. It's that spark moment where you flip the switch and go, "Oh no, this isn't working. I'm done with this bullshit. I'm 110% PMA, positive mental attitude, all the time about everything. I'm going to push myself." So he became like a power lifter and a bodybuilder, not like nationally ranked or anything, but worked his ass off. And then decided that he wanted to run this ultramarathon of 100 miles to support military. He is, I believe, retired Marine. I believe, was on a SEAL team. One of them at least.
Something like that.
He tried out a bunch of different times, a bunch of different stuff, kept washing out, but then he would go back at it again. It was this tenacity to not give up. And so he's this big guy, he's power lifter, whatever, and he decides that he wants to try to run this 100-mile race to fundraise for this charity. I believe that had to do with either retired and disabled Marines or something with kids. I'm kind of bastardizing this and I apologize, but it was something along those lines, was this race. And so in order to qualify for this race, he had to, since he never ran any races, there was a 24-hour run that you could do that if you ran the 24 hours and hit 100 plus miles, you would qualify for this other race. And so he was really dedicated to doing this. So he has no nutritional idea about how to go about doing this. He signs up for this thing. It's like a week later, I think it was. He said he bought a box of Ritz crackers and some Myoplex. That's what he had to run 24 hours. Let me clarify. It's just around a track. There's as many laps around this track as you can do that equal up to as many miles as you can do within a 24-hour period, and you had to hit at least 100. So he's running. He gets to, again, he has no experience running whatsoever. He has zero.
It's so nuts.
It's like, it's just, he's used to lifting heavy weights, and he's just a big muscly dude. He ends up, I think, around mile 70, like having one of those shutdowns that you see at the 10 mile or the 4 mile left marker or whatever, where you see people start to shake and stuff, and they fall down and like their body just shuts down on them. He had one of those, and he manages to get to his lawn chair, and his girlfriend's with him, and he's like, he literally shit up his back, like his body just failed him. When you run like that and you're not used to it, especially if you do ultramarathons, like your toenails will fucking pop off your feet. Like it's
shit.
Yeah, it's like real shit. It's like those are some tough motherfuckers.
No thanks.
So he gets his will together. He's got a ball of Myoplex and Ritz crackers in his stomach, because it's like, what are you doing? This is not what you would need to eat. Why are those the things you would pick? I think that was okay nutrition. I don't think he hydrated at all for this race. Long story on this portion short. He manages to run 101 miles, but he only does it in 23 hours. He didn't run the full 24. And the guy says that to him, and he's just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. But he's like, look, obviously, you know, you running this race is very important to you. Obviously, I support the military as well, blah, blah, blah. So he gave him the go-ahead for it. He's basically dead, right? And this is some months down the road. He's basically dead. He goes, I had to be, my girlfriend, who was also a powerlifter, had to carry me off to the car, which was almost impossible. I was covered in piss. I was covered in shit. My feet were bleeding. All my joints shut down. A week later, this motherfucker runs a marathon. A week later, his body's not even recovered, and he runs a marathon.
And smashes.
Smashes. Sort of. He does it. He does the marathon is the point. He does the marathon a week after he's destroyed himself, having never run before. This is a week later. I think it's davidgoggins.com. There's actually a list on there somewhere of all of the races that he did. And like, we're talking like within a month, there's another marathon. There's another, and then it was like another 100 miler, another 100 miler, another 100 miler, or 150 miler. It's ridiculous.
Why do that to yourself though? I mean, like, it's totally sick. I get it. But like, why are you gonna be like, you know what? I don't give a shit that my toenails are going to fucking pop off.
I don't like to run to the fridge. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah,
to
like
myself?
sure, like run to make yourself healthy and stuff like that, but you're gonna be like, my fucking toenails, dude.
So
don't care.
He figures it out. He starts to, you know, he adjusts his life or whatever. So he's one of those guys where you listen to a story and just go, you got to be fucking kidding me. This is a person. This is a human being that exists.
Yeah, it's a RoboCop.
And Cameron Hanes, also a friend of Joe Rogan's, who is this bow hunter, and he's an ultramarathon runner as well. Started off similarly when it came to running, where he did his first couple runs and he couldn't even run a mile without being exhausted. Now this guy runs a marathon a day. He runs a marathon every day. It's broken up into 2 sections because he still works a regular 9 to 5. He has a regular job for, I think he lives in Utah. I think it's in Utah. It's one of those states out west, but not quite all the way to the coast, toward the north-ish area. I believe it's Utah, where he works for, I want to say like one of the municipalities. Like he works at like a government level thing, not in an office necessarily, I don't think, but like something along those lines. But he's designed it within his position that he comes in early. He takes a long lunch because he's in early, and then he's out by 5. So he does his first half of the marathon on his lunch, and then he gets home, has the time with his kids, puts in bed or whatever. And he does have an older son who is I believe he's a Marine. I believe his son is in the Marines. He's definitely in the service. His son's 21, his oldest son. And then after everybody goes to bed, he goes runs the other half of his marathon every day, and he mostly builds up to do these ultra marathons. I can't, and when he heard the interview that Rogan did with Goggins, they're like best friends now. They actually just on Instagram, they just had a whole...
We're friends now.
Yeah, Goggins came out and stayed with Cameron, and they did just a bunch of different workouts and runs and stuff together. And it's just like that crazy sort of drive. When the last time I heard a Cameron Hanes episode, I think, was when he was going to do the Bigfoot 200. Again, that's out somewhere out west. It's a 200 or 250 actually. It's a 248 mile race. That 248 mile run.
God,
it takes multiple days. He was out there. He placed relatively well. He did well. But the woman who won the race, her name is Courtney Dauwalter. She beat everyone. She was the first place winner by 23 hours.
Something crazy.
Not just was the first place winner by 23 hours, but somewhere in the middle of the run had fallen and hit her head and was bleeding into her own eyes to where she couldn't see. This is actually, I think, toward the end of the race, and still managed to finish 23 hours ahead of everybody else.
That's so weird. Rogan was like joking. He's like, you were able to go eat a full breakfast, take a nap, go to bed, take a shower, enjoy yourself. You go downstairs to the hotel, get some breakfast, and people are still showing up. He's like, you were done.
Yeah, she was done. And that's the thing, too. The thing that amazed him the most is because Goggins and Cameron and obviously Joe Rogan, they all eat these super specific diets. They work out all the time. Courtney runs and she eats nachos and drinks beer. And that's what blows everybody away the most. Yeah. She eats garbage like I eat.
Well, in her defense, I guess I could say, I know when you run, and like for me instance, like it was just drums, I could eat whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah.
And it would just, the cardio would just take it all away.
Yeah. But the thing is also, I mean, yeah, you'll burn the calories, but is it the right fuel for what you're doing?
Oh, no.
Clearly, I mean, again, there's no one size fits all diet for everyone in the world. Everyone's different. Clearly, this woman can eat nachos, drink beer. These are two specific things that keep getting brought up that are way outside the diet range of what a person does when they're an ultra marathon runner, and she's still murdering the fucking room.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's super impressive. So that's where we started off. He texted me last night with, "Did you see? Have you seen the David Goggins episode?" And I'm like, heard it. I'm like, that guy's a fucking monster. That guy's an absolute savage.
And I had no idea it was from Buffalo too. And he's like, when I grew up on Paradise Road in Buffalo, New York, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah. And that's amazing. So these people are super inspirational. And this is what we were talking about after that. We hear about all these people who are like these, Gary Vee, not one known for his physical aspects, but I've definitely talked about him before. He's just one of those people with a ton of positive mental attitude, much like DDP, super, super positive all the time. Everything's great.
Diamond Dallas Page?
Yeah. DDPY?
Why?
Diamond Dallas Page Yoga has been rebranded as DDPY.
Wait.
It's not just yoga? Oh, you don't even know about this
I don't
shit?
know. Like the Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, the motherfucking
Page
Diamond Dallas Page.
has a yoga thing?
That's why he wants to rebrand it as DDPY. Because it's not just a yoga thing. It's a lifestyle around physicality that actually helps you feel better. So, because he's got a ton of back issues and knee issues and stuff.
What is this DD?
Go look it up. Google it right now.
I am.
And just scan it. DDPY. So,
Rebuild.
he suffered, so he's a former professional wrestler. He was one of the biggest wrestlers in
Oh, no.
all of wrestling. And he has suffered a lot of, physical injuries, specifically back, as did Chris Jericho, Jake the Snake Roberts. Just a lot of those guys just get beat to fuck. And so he developed this system that's surrounded around yoga.
Have you seen this website?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I'm making everybody's got their diamond cutters up in the air.
Oh yeah, it's a fucking diamond cutter.
It's so
Best thing.
ridiculous.
It's so good. So, but he's developed this system of working out. There's a diet and everything. There's a whole plan involved. And I know a lot of people are,
how old
it's a scam. There's a lot of those out there that are like with the ab cruncher and the ab roller and stuff. Like, no, that's like an individual product that was designed that has nothing around it. This is a real thing. He's helped so many people regain their life. He helped Chris Jericho, who has a back more fucked up than his, not only recoup himself so much from it that he is actually able to wrestle again. And Jericho is currently wrestling in the WWE again.
Wow.
Amongst touring with Fozzy and doing other things.
I saw this thing. There was I don't remember the guy's name, but it was along the lines of like this DDP yoga type shit. And he was a paratrooper, and he had done so many missions, and he was in a fucking wheelchair from his knees.
Short, fat guy with braces on and stuff, and he had the crutches, and he had like a little goatee beard and hair pulled back. That's the guy that DDP helped.
No way.
Swear to fucking Christ.
So that dude gets up out of nowhere.
That guy.
He was all crunched over in this fucking wheelchair, and he hops on his...
That's how he did it. Diamond Dallas Page got in contact with him directly, and he helped him through the process. That's how fucking crazy it is. Right.
But
and that's the thing. So all these people with these positive mental attitudes and there's these awesome things. I'm like, yeah. So Tom and I are like, yeah, we need to change our life. We need to fucking do something. Blah blah. And then I'm like,
let's get high.
Do you want to get donuts? Dude, Dunkin's right there. We can go right there.
So let me get 12 chocolate glazed donuts, and I'll eat 11 of them. And
the other one I'll save for later, and then I'll still pick at it while I'm,
I'll save for later, but I'm gonna eat it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But dude, I kind of get this argument with other people. People are like, you need medicine. You need... Oh, yeah, you do to an extent. But this is the type of shit that I'm talking about. The human body and mind is insane. It is always repairing itself. But It is only up to you if you could do it. And I always use that reference as myself. That dude was in a wheelchair, living a way harder life than I will ever live, and he was able to get up and do it and get himself out of a wheelchair. And he looked like a little person in this wheelchair, but he does this DDP thing, right?
Yeah.
And he looks like he's a military man again.
Yeah.
Back, tall, standing up straight.
Your posture gets straightened out.
Yeah,
and the weight loss is actually just a side effect of doing the exercises. The rest of it is just the strengthening yourself and regaining mobility and flexibility and stuff. It's just David Goggins, I think he said that toward the end of his day he stretches as part of his workout regimen, whatever he's doing. He stretches for an hour every day.
Oh, weird.
Because it gives him the flexibility and stuff that he had lost, when he was heavy, and then when he was a power lifter, you lose a lot of flexibility. and he stretches for like an hour a day, and that helps so much with decreasing inflammation and stuff, which causes
I
sickness.
need to start doing that. I'm starting today. Today is my fucking click. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
When you're talking about stretching and stuff like that, I've noticed as I got older, when I played drums. Right before a show, always like clockwork, I'd warm up an hour before.
Yeah.
And then about 15 minutes before we'd play, I'd stretch. And I never got sore up until recently. It was weird. I noticed that if I stretched before I played drums, after I'd finished, I got sore. But if I didn't stretch before I played drums and then stretched afterwards, I didn't get sore. It was like this weird like
Were you practicing before you played this time?
Yes, that's what
You practice, then stretch, then play again?
Yeah,
Now?
I noticed that.
Now you do that.
Now I don't do that because I don't play shows
Here's
like that
why.
anymore.
Stretching cold muscles isn't nearly as effective as stretching warmed up muscles.
Well, I did this routine. I would warm up, stretch, play a show.
Right.
And then we did the headline run. I warmed up, stretched, played a show, got sore. So then I stopped stretching and warming up, and then I would play the show and then go on to my drum pad after we played and stretch and play, and then it would go away. It was like this weird.
I would say warm up first, then play, and then stretch. Like, think about it if you do. I'm because of the jobs that I work, getting back into football a bit as a spectator. When those guys go out, they're out there for 2 hours playing around, stretching, tossing the ball, running drills and stuff before they even play the game. That's because you need all your shit warmed and loose and stretched out, and because it helps reduce injury. If you go in and play cold, it's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah,
it's terrible for you.
Just like I played pickup hockey for a little bit, and you'd have your warm ups or whatever. We would skate around. I would try to do whatever I could. But it wasn't enough. I needed at least 2 hours before of warming up before I could play this full hour game of hockey.
Yeah.
And dude, first and second period, I was winded. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't fucking do shit. But always that third period with that 20-minute break would happen, and third period would come around, and I was fucking amped up.
Yeah.
Nothing hurt. Nothing was sore. I was skating everywhere, but it was never enough time to
Yeah, because your body adjusts for that.
It's just so weird.
You basically that first 2 periods of hockey where you sucked
miserable
was where you were where your body was getting warmed up and acclimated, and then you have that 20-minute break, and then there's probably some kind of adrenaline dump that happens.
Yeah,
and then
it was weird. My feet would stop getting that sparkle tingly feeling, and it was just everything the blood would start flowing. I could feel my breathing, and my lungs were able to stretch out, and I was into it and just waiting. And then the next thing I know, 20 minutes would go by 5 minutes, and I'd be like, oh man, now I'm gonna go home all wired up and amped.
Yeah,
and it was just I wish I warmed up right the correct way.
During the beginning of the summer, when I was doing when I was working out and going for, because of my asthma, it was partial runs, but long, really fast-paced walks. Because I'm well, I'm going to walk as fast as I can walk, and I got a good stride and some relatively strong legs for a fat guy. I always felt better during the day. I went to bed easier at night. I slept through the night far easier, and just had overall more. Even though I was tired after working out, just a 30-minute Sean T helping us out. Fucking workout in the living room. I was tired, and there's points where all right, just 20 more seconds of push-ups. I'm bitch, I can't do one more push-up. And it's push. You would do it, and you'd hit that temporary muscle fatigue. 10-20 minutes after I'd finished, I felt great.
Yeah,
felt absolutely great. And then I stopped doing it, and now I feel like shit all the time.
We just gotta plow through, dude. It's a new routine. I typed this down.
And so that's part of what we were talking about earlier with the
sorry.
With what Rogan was saying was a problem that he thinks a lot of people have isn't, it was a statement based around the whole, being fat is beautiful. You're fine if you're fat. It's you're not. No. And you know what? I'm fat, and I know I'm fucking not. I know
you're
that
not
it's
fat, dude.
No, I'm okay. Everyone else, I appreciate your saying
you're
that.
not fat, man.
People say that all the time. There are people who are morbidly obese. I probably am on the lower cusp of that. I'm a fat guy. I know this. I've been that way my entire life. I've been fatter. I've been less fat, but I'm fat right now.
I remember during the music hall mall days, you were working out.
No, not at all.
I remember you were, though.
No, Josh was, because Josh now owns the gym.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
We should get Josh on the show. Maybe he'd...
That's definitely... I've talked to him about it. I do want to have him on. I want to have him talk about the whole thing and,
like,
and the
how
business.
do we be in shape? How do we...
Oh, I just mean sort of like, to talk about... Because our friend Josh owns a CrossFit gym in Buffalo. It's Harborside CrossFit. His name is Josh Makar. Awesome dude. Great all-around guy. Fitness fanatic and entrepreneur, business owner.
And from what I remember, he's a pretty damn good-looking dude.
Yeah. Handsome 41-year-old man. Dude, there's a picture of him. That popped up on my Facebook that's like
Hollywood
his profile
Starlight
picture.
Murder.
It was his profile picture. He's just like, they were doing like some kind of run through the city and they're coming around the corner on a block and he's got like a 12-pack of abs. He's fucking shredded. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Because he's always been a person into working out, but once he got really hard into the CrossFit and now that he runs the gym, like he's doing workouts with people and then doing his own workouts. So he's just fucking shredded.
Let's see if we can convince him to like let us do a thing.
What do you mean?
Like where we go work out.
Oh, I've worked out twice with Josh doing things outside of this. I haven't actually seen the gym yet, and I want to. The 2 times I've worked out with him, and it's no fault of his own. Or is it 3 times? At least 2 or 3 times. It's definitely 2. I've managed to injure myself to where I was injured for a while.
Oh my God, let's stream it live.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work.
Let's go into his.
This is not good publicity for.
I think it would be hilarious
for his gym or for CrossFit. This is my own lack of. So to the point that I'm making about Rogan, it's like it's the being the fat is beautiful. It's not. I know that I'm fat. People that are fat, they know that they're fat. Anyone who is and doesn't think that they are, they're being delusional. And it's not. And here's why.
Delusional.
Here's why it's not okay, because your body isn't designed to be like that. There are instances where there's chemical imbalances or you have a thyroid issue. Those are singularities. Those are different.
You're exempt to an extent.
For the most of us, it's a lack of discipline.
Yes.
It's a lack of discipline. I have very little discipline. That is my own fault. Yeah, it's got to go the other way.
It's got to go the other way?
Yeah, the other way, because that's making it tighter.
And wait.
You're going to lose it now, right? Because you need to move it? Yeah, keep going. Right? There you go. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Left, right, it's all the same.
At least if there's the camera going next time, we won't have to explain what you're doing.
Yeah, right.
This lack of discipline. I know I have very little discipline. Very little. It's self-control and discipline, not something I have a ton of. And I feel like, and I'm pretty sure it's probably the case, that most people who are, I won't say I'm endomorphic, but I'm close, like me, it's a lack of discipline. It's when I go to my parents' house and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't eat bread and I don't, this and carbs and whatever. And I just water's fine. I don't need Diet Coke or whatever it is. Oh, you're on your diet still? I'm like, no. This is the way I'm supposed to eat. I'm just not consistent with it. But this is the way, we are not supposed to have these things because they're bad for us. There are people who can eat a loaf of bread and never have a problem and be fucking shredded. That's cool for them. That's their physiology. Mine clearly states if you eat a slice of pizza, it's all going to your tits. Like I need to know that one piece, okay, fine. I don't need the 3rd, 4th, and 5th piece of pizza.
Well, here we go. I typed in on Google here. What did I type in? I don't even remember. How to fix lack of discipline. It says, forgive yourself. You aren't perfect. No one is. Realize that beating yourself up will only make things worse.
I don't know that that's the truth. I don't know that that's the truth.
It says, realize that discipline is an illusion.
I mean, so for an example, with if you beating up yourself is a bad idea. When Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura did the initial weight loss challenge 2 years ago, it wasn't his own self-deprecation, but it was the absolute verbal beating that he took from the fans about how fat he was, which was in part joking and in part, yeah, you're a fat piece of shit, that he says he used to drive him to do better and lose all the weight that he lost, which was a substantial amount of weight.
That's so crazy.
That helped give him the discipline. And again, it wasn't himself being hard on himself. It was random strangers all over social media being hard on him, but he took it to heart realizing, I need to do something different. And he did. It's not for everyone, but yeah, that I don't know. don't be hard on yourself is like, to some people tell me that all the time. Like, I'll beat up on myself about something as I'm talking to a friend and be like, I can't believe I fucking did this again. Especially, it's usually something I've done again. It's a perpetual behavior or something that I'm doing. I'm like, you can't be too hard on yourself, man. I'm like, that's because you like me and we're friends and I'm funny, and that's why you feel like you should say that, because you feel like it's the right thing to say. The right thing to say is, no, yeah, you're fucked up. For me, I'm not going to say that about everybody, but I think in a lot of cases, a lot of people are probably like me. I'm kind of right up the middle. I'm like a 5 on a 1 to 10 in most regards. In most of us, it's like, yeah, no, you need to go. No, you did fuck up. You are a piece of shit. You shouldn't have eaten that. You know that you made a mistake. But then it's not just enough to say that. You have to do something about it. You have to find that David Goggins switch where you leave your canister of pesticide behind in that restaurant at 4 o'clock in the morning and stop drinking fucking chocolate milkshakes every goddamn day.
In my case, it's stop eating fucking pints of ice cream before sleep. And last night, my girls were over, and we just always make cookies when they come over. We'll bake some cookies and brownies, but dude, because it's me, I'm going to fucking sit there and eat 5 or 6 pieces of pizza sliced brownies.
Yeah.
And I'll just sit there
pizza
and eat
sliced
them all.
brownies.
Do you know what I mean? They're the size of, I can't help it. I just can't help it.
Would you bake it in a circle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I just love junk food. I don't know why.
Right. And while it's not good for anyone to eat it that consistently, it clearly isn't showing to be a negative effect on you physically. But I wonder what your blood work looks like.
Sometimes I know it has something to do. I get real weak almost, but I know I'm not weak. Like, just this weird.
Well, it happens all the time when you eat a bunch of sugar or a bunch of carbs, a bunch of bread, and you have a huge insulin or pasta. You have a huge insulin dump. Your body goes, "Oh shit, we need to make up for this," and that insulin dump, along with that, with the glucose spike, that'll send you to sleep. A lot of people who are very in tune to what their diets are and work out a lot prefer to work out fasted. Because that hunger and that you know how you kind of become preoccupied when you're hungry, they're able to use that to focus on the workout and do a better job. They might not be able to push the weight as far or as fast, but they do a better job than if they worked out on a full stomach or with food in them, because they have that dump, and then all of a sudden their energy level tanks because their body is now processing food, and instead of processing the work, you're using that energy to process the food inside.
Yeah.
But then there's dudes who. There was a podcast I listened to recently with Rogan where he had these two guys that I think they were both bodybuilders. They were both like nutrition scientists, PhDs, and one had a completely different thought about the process than the other one, but they're really good friends and they've actually worked together on a lot of stuff, but they were kind of contradicting each other. But if anything, was to kind of cover the different bases of what is what.
Yeah.
And ultimately, really, it comes down to the person's specific body type and who you are as a person and how you are physically made up. The one guy's like, yeah, I have to work out fasted or I don't work out well. And the other guy's like, I have to eat a fucking meal, including like a steak and potato and this and this before I work out, or I don't get a good workout in. Completely opposite. And they're both
so
dudes who are like 225, 230 pounds shredded guys who like train bodybuilders for a fucking living. You know, it's just everyone's different, but I feel like there's a core group of things that make sense that sort of unilaterally, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know shit about nutrition other than what I've picked up from listening to podcasts. But, too much sugar, sometimes any sugar at all, is bad for you. Refined carbs, processed sugar carbs,
I have no idea.
Terrible for you, mostly. A lot of people who work out on a regular basis and work out hard, their body knows they're in tune with turning that glucose into fuel and then burns it off rather than storing it as fat because they're working out. If you're a person who only diets, you probably, again, from what I'm understanding, going to want to cut back on carbs and sugar and unnecessary calories as much as possible. Intermittent fasting is incredibly beneficial for you from all the studies that have been done on it.
And it's really, really good for the immune system too, I found out.
Because doing that actually helps with reducing inflammation first. So the inflammation is most diseases, sicknesses, ailments, arthritis, tendonitis, things like that are a lot in large part caused by our inflammation. So the brain's not working, also affected by inflammation apparently. And certain foods and stuff will actually kill the positive microbes in your gut. And so your gut biome health is something that's super important. Depending on what you're eating, what you're drinking, if you're taking supplements, if you're taking probiotics, if you're drinking things that or eating things with probiotics in them, like kombucha, kimchi, things that are fermented to have those probiotics in them, unless you're doing that, most people's bodies are way the fuck out of whack. Most people. And the ones that do this stuff on a regular basis are still always tinkering with, mostly, I feel like, from what they're saying, they're tinkering with and fine-tuning what they're doing. And again, it depends on if they have an event coming up where they have to perform, if they have to cut weight for a certain thing. You know, they have 4 months before there's the show, so I need to make sure that, you know, in cases of like a bodybuilder, like I have to, by that last couple of weeks, have my body fat so low that you start to become, you know, kind of lightheaded because your body's looking for something else, and then you need a potassium boost that actually dumps the water out, so you look more cut. And, you know, just there's a science to all of it. I think for the most part, people in general, I kept hearing the phrase the standard American diet, and I go, well, that has to be what I'm eating, because I try to eat well, but I mostly eat garbage.
Yeah, it's just I feel like I could eat whatever the hell I want at this point. It's just a matter of being active and like making your body move and like get it going.
So to that point, right, clearly holding weight, keeping weight on is not something that you readily do. But those pictures that I found when I was looking for stuff online, when I just Googled Tom Falcone, you know, cute and images, there's pictures of you shirtless behind the kit where you are fucking ripped.
So funny.
You are ripped, and I'm like, holy shit. And that's just you playing drums. You're on the road eating McDonald's and you're fucking
every day.
ripped. Yeah.
Every single day.
And that's just for you. That's just the work. That's the workout of the playing the drums. That's all it took.
It might be a little bit too much information for the podcast.
There's no such thing.
What the fuck is Salamanca calling me? When we were on Warped, we just got stoned all the time, and like, you know what I mean? You just eat catering, which was okay, whatever. It was just like catered food or whatever. But we'd stop at a Walmart and we'd use band money to go get groceries and shit like that. It would always be M&Ms and like fucking cookies and
you
Oreos.
get trash.
And I remember one time we just ran out of food, and we were like just on our way. But I just had the munchies so bad. I ended up eating a full box of plain Cheerios. Just no milk, nothing. I just sat there and ate the whole fucking thing. And then the next day, when we stopped at the truck stop, I had to use the bathroom. The whole bathroom just reeked of Cheerios. I know that's like a little bit too much, but it was just like
not at all, man.
I just can't figure out how to eat healthier at nighttime. Like during the day, I could be like, I'm not fucking eating junk food. I won't eat junk food. I'll still smoke a little bit of pot, but I'll manage to get through not eating munching food. But the second it's time for sleep, I'll pop out a movie, I'll start reading my book, and my stomach starts being like, let's go eat some fucking food.
And that's where the self-discipline comes in, where you go, I'm not going to eat the food. I'll slam a glass of water to fill my stomach up, and I'll just deal with it,
Holy
focus
shit.
through.
I'm going to start doing that because, like I said, it's just like, and then I start getting in my own head. I'm like, well, then you can't fall asleep if you don't eat.
Because sometimes when you're, again, something I've heard somebody say, none of this is 100%. Not any of this is 100%, but something I heard somebody say, again, on one of Rogan's podcasts, some nutritionist, I don't want to misquote. It might have been Dr. Rhonda Patrick, but she said sometimes when you're dehydrated, you'll think that you're hungry, but you're not. You're just dehydrated. So then, and you might be hungry at that time of night if you haven't eaten in a few hours and whatever, but if you slam a glass of water, it fills up your stomach and it's giving you the water to hydrate. Yeah. And then you're kind of, even if you're just tricking your body, there's 0 caloric intake with water, but you need it anyway, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to start drinking water. Yeah. But what I just realized too is a lot of it, I think, stems from eating at nighttime was because of touring. Because
right.
You would like,
you finish the set or whatever, it's 11, 12 o'clock at night. Yeah. Pile into the bus. All right, dude, I'm starving. I just played an hour and a half or whatever.
You can't find any food or anything like that. Or a lot of the times, it was sound check. If you're a headlining band, sound check always happens at the most important time of the day. Like, everybody's doing shit, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone is inviting you to go do something. Like, we're going to go to this fucking store, or we're going to go visit, or we're going to go see this movie, and you're like, I have sound check.
Yeah.
So you'd have to go check or whatever, and then by the time you're finished, with drummers too, everyone's like, hurry the fuck up, we need to hurry up, it's time to go sound check, we need to sound check, where is everybody, you go up and
bass guitar, vocals, one mic, that's it. Drums, 12. You know what I mean?
But
that's part of the difference.
All the time, you rush. We need to sound check. We need to fucking sound check, and then we get up to sound check, and everybody's fucking dilly dallying or whatever. The guitar players are still setting shit up and tuning, and I'm sitting there ready to fucking play drums after making me fucking rush.
Right.
I go to sit and I start playing drums, and everybody gets pissed that I started playing drums. Like, you guys begged me and forced me to get here for sound check. I'm sound checking, and you guys need me to be quiet.
That's why you sit off in the corner on the couch with your phone with your fucking skull cap on that's hanging back beanie style, and just go, yo, bitch, you're just texting. I'm not getting up there till you bitches are done. I will sound check after you folks have set your shit up and sound checked yourselves, and then I'll come up and go, bang, 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 cool, we're good.
Literally, that's all
it's going to take.
And then by the time you're fucking finished, everyone's like, let's play this song, and then you play this song, and then idiots, I'm not going to name a singing name, but
not a specific idiot, but there's plenty of idiots.
They're like, well, we always mess up this song, and then you're like, no, you fuck up that song. We don't fuck up that song, and then he makes us play it, and then he still fucks it up, and then we need to play it again because that dude fucks it up, and you're just fuck sound check. My point is that there was no time to eat ever except at nighttime, so the venue would order us 12 pieces of or 12 things of pizza, and we'd sit there and we'd be all pumped to eat, and then you'd eat it and then go right to bed, and then I had no idea what heartburn was up until fucking touring.
My God, dude, I had that every minute of every day.
I woke up and I was like, what is this horrible feeling in my stomach and chest? I had no idea what it was, and then I learned that a lot of band dudes acquire heartburn from touring, and I cannot eat one pepperoni. Now, really? I love pepperoni. I love it. I can't take a bite of one. If I take a bite of one, I get horrible acid reflux, and it's just...
I have that too. I have that badly. Like, I'm medicated for it to the point where they're like, yeah, you might need surgery at some point. And I'm like, well, I don't want to have esophageal cancer, but I also really like Frank's hot sauce. Like, where's the cutoff?
Dude, weird. Hot sauce doesn't give me heartburn.
Really?
Yeah, I could drink hot sauce and not get heartburn.
That's strange.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Dude, I get heartburn from water sometimes. Like, I'll get indigestion. It just depends on the level of acid in my stomach. Like, if I wake up in the morning and I haven't had anything to eat in hours, my stomach acid concentration's at its highest. When you're laying down, everything's kind of running up your throat. So then you get up, you drink some water, you've just diluted the acid, but you've spread it out because now the water has more access to places than the acid does. So now you're spreading it everywhere.
I know bananas work, and I know milk works. And I know laying on the left side, on your left side.
You're supposed to lay on your left side when you sleep, no matter what. Apparently,
really,
for digestion and for breathing, for your blood flow, because your heart pumps and it flows out the left side, right? So the idea is you're allowing gravity. If you're laying on your left side, you're allowing gravity to help push the blood along through your body. If you're laying on your left side,
gravity's not real according to flat earthers.
Well, I mean, it would have to be real because it's the only thing holding it to the plate, the giant fucking disc. Wait, you did it on purpose, you son of a bitch!
I had to,
motherfucker! You did it on purpose, you son of a bitch! You bastard! You roped me into that shit. All right, completely changing. Not completely changing. We're gonna be talking about food. Completely changing the pace of things, though. Okay. Favorite Dorito?
I like all Doritos.
All right.
I like Doritos in general.
Okay, Doritos are fucking awesome. So if you had to pick, right, if there's 3 in front of you, and you can only eat one.
I can only choose one, the original packaged Dorito from 1982.
I wasn't even going to put that on the table, but okay. Okay. I was going to say either like the nacho cheese, Cool Ranch. Fuck Cool Ranch. By the way, Joe Santagato, fuck Cool Ranch Doritos. They're disgusting. By the way, I better make sure that
messy kids.
Disgusting Cool Ranch Doritos. You fucking lunatic. You're out of your fucking mind.
I like all Doritos, though.
And then the sweet chili is really good, too. All right. So just as long as you're not going to see this app, but I'm going to app the fuck out of you on this. You're a lunatic for thinking that Cool Ranch Doritos are the best Doritos.
And adding Dorito. At Dorito.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I listen back to the podcast when I'm doing the mix down before I put stuff out, and I write out all the things that we talked about so I can make sure I hashtag and add things appropriately, because I'm a bitch like that. I don't know if that's the right response, but all right. So, okay, Doritos. Let me think. Okay. What kind of regular potato chips? What's your favorite?
I cannot stand regular potato chips. Anything Lay's can kiss my ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Even Wavy Lay's?
Even the Wavy Lay's, except Fritos.
No, well, all right. We're talking about potato chips. That's a corn chip. It's different. What about Ruffles?
I do not like Ruffles.
Ruffles have ridges. Wavy Lay's. They're not that fucking different. Dude, Troyerfarms? That's the local shit.
I don't like the normal weird potato chip. If I had to choose, maybe it would be like a sour cream and onion. Or no. What? The vinegar. I'm sorry, the vinegar.
Salt and vinegar? So salt and vinegar potato chip or kettle chip?
You know what I could do? I'll meet you in the middle. Baked Lay's. The baked Lay's.
That's like the most bullshit fucking Lay's that there are.
No way. It is the only good Lay's.
Baked Lay's?
Lay's sucks. I hate normal ass potato chips. I hate the
Dude. So what do you dip into your fucking bison chip dip? You do. I thought you were born and raised in this town. What do you mean you don't bison chip dip?
I like the bison chip dip, but I don't like.
What do you dip into it then? Do you just eat it with a spoon then?
If anything, it's probably just the regular Fritos. Now that I'm thinking about this, I'm like picturing myself at my aunt's Super Bowl party
using Frito scoops.
Yeah, and trying to picture all of that stuff, and I picture a lot of red for some reason. I don't know why. Red tablecloth and a football
probably like
full of
Christmas
chip dip.
holiday-ish time.
Yeah,
probably. Right?
Yeah.
Sounds about like right around now.
But my aunt always had Fritos and stuff like that, and I would use the Fritos to dip the bison chip dip.
It's fucking sacrilege.
I don't like the Frito or the regular Lay's or anything like that.
What's your favorite kind of cookie?
Oh shit! What's my favorite type of music, bro?
Right.
Oh, there's chocolate chip cookies. There's the peanut butter.
What's my favorite note? Like, is it A? Is it F? Is it G? Is it a sus minor or whatever?
Dude, my favorite cookie would have to be the chocolate chip cookie, even though touring has ruined it. Like pepperonis, I can't eat a half a chocolate chip cookie. I eat a half a chocolate chip cookie, and I get fucking terrible heartburn.
Dude, you just need to take some antacid, and then you can do whatever you want.
Franco's chocolate chip cookies are the best. Franco's makes gigantic.
Franco's what? The pizzeria? Place? Get the fuck out of here.
They make chocolate chip cookies, dude.
Dude, what about the ones from Wegmans and DeBella's?
Franco's.
Really?
Franco's.
You've toured all over the world. Franco's
Buffalo.
chocolate
chip cookies. They're so good. Sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I feel like getting cookies fucking delivered to my house. So I'll order a small pizza with like 15 chocolate chip cookies.
Jesus Christ.
And every single time those dudes show up at my house, they're like, small pizza, and they hand me a big ass bag full of cookies, and they burst out laughing. They're like, cookies, and I'm like, all 10, sick. And then I'll fucking eat the 7 of them and then leave the other ones for Meg and Cece. But 9 times out of the 10, they don't eat them. I eat them. But chocolate chip cookies are the way to go.
I was thinking you go like, I don't know. I was thinking you kind of basic bitch. I'm gonna go Oreo. I don't know.
I can't eat Oreos, dude. I've eaten Oreos. I've eaten myself sick of Oreos.
Okay, but when you did eat them, regular or double stuff? Or double stuff where you take off a half of either one and you have 2 of them together and it's quadruple stuff.
See, y'all don't know anything about my cooking abilities, my cookie eating abilities. I would take double stuffed Oreos, and I figured out how to triple stuff them. So you take the one side, right? You take the other cream, and you mash together the double stuffed. If you twist them in a...
So if you take one, what you're saying is you take one and you twist both sides, you can twist out that middle and put that into the sandwich of the others?
And make it a 3. If you finesse the 2 creams, right, and you get the one off...
It's just sugary elf jizz that's just baked down into a disc that you put on a cookie.
More addictive than cocaine, dude. The sugar in Oreos is 100% more addictive than cocaine. Jamie, pull up the study that shows that. Yeah, right. I don't even know how to even search that, but they did cocaine. They took cocaine, sugar, and the Oreo cream, and they did the rats with the mazes, and the rats went fucking ape shit on the Oreo cookie thing. They would go to the cocaine, they go to the sugar, get to the Oreo cream, go nuts, fly themselves to the other end, fly themselves back specifically to the Oreo thing. They just went nuts on it, and I was just like, oh shit, that's probably why I smashed a whole box of Oreos.
Well, I think that's probably also sugar in general.
Yeah,
because sugar in general is a drug.
God only knows what the fuck else
definitely has there's definitely a drug-like quality to it as far as the addiction level goes. I mean,
which is weird. One of those. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Double stuffed, or I'm not sure which one is actually vegan.
Probably not.
I don't know which Oreo is, but one of the 2 are vegan. It's weird. I don't remember.
Why would they be different? Why don't we just be more filling in one of them? But the same shit.
Which Oreo is vegan? No Oreo. No, Oreo have milk as cross-contaminant, but not suitable for vegans. Unfortunately, not as... I'm almost positive one or the other is a vegan. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the double stuffed is vegan because the I know this from experience.
But why would that make... it's just more of the filling in it. Why would that one be vegan?
It's not the same filling, dude. I'm telling you, I've eaten so many Oreos to the point where I can't eat them anymore.
Right.
All of the cream, it tastes different. Like the red tastes different from the orange.
Well,
and the orange
even though food coloring isn't supposed to have a flavor, it does change the taste. My mom bakes cookies and stuff for the side business that she has, and like using different colored food colorings, they will, even though they're not supposed to, they will change the flavor and definitely the texture of a filling or an icing or a frosting. They definitely do. So I can see that being the case, but I don't know why the base filler wouldn't be the exact same thing.
I'm convinced it's different because it definitely tastes different.
Google just told you otherwise, though,
it says, maybe it's me being dyslexic. It says, no, Oreo have milk as cross-contact, and therefore they are not suitable for vegans. Unfortunately, not as we use wheat in the Oreo recipe. Oreo products do not contain nut or nut traces. And then this thing says, Oreos, the creamy middle is the best part of an Oreo, and surprisingly not milk-based. Do you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
How the fuck are we supposed to believe anything Google says?
Well, what's the source? Is it from Nabisco?
This says Oreo.co.uk is the first thing that shows
fuck
up.
UK, automatically.
This says Food Networks, 9 foods you won't believe are dairy-free, Canada. Wait, Oreos are vegan, delish.com. Are Oreos vegan? Do you know what I mean? Like Good Housekeeping.
So if the
favorite, I can't even say it that fast.
What?
Favorite non-pornographic magazine to jerk off to.
Good Housekeeping. All right, so if the filling doesn't have milk in it, which I actually believe it doesn't, I could see how that could be a thing. If it doesn't, right? Then it doesn't in any of them, so they should all be vegan.
Yeah, see, I knew this. Oreos are vegan, but I think it's the double stuffed ones that are vegan.
But they would all be vegan if the filling doesn't have any dairy in it. Unless, well, I mean, it would have to be vegetable fat of some kind then that's mixed in with the sugar to make the filling, because otherwise it would be some kind of animal fat, which would make it not vegan.
Yeah. Who the fuck knows? You know what? It just crossed my mind that's probably why they have...
It just crossed his mind. He completely made everything up that he just fucking said.
No. I was making chocolate chip cookies the other day, and it gives you the option to add vegetable oil or eggs. And just crossed my mind. That's why they do that.
You can also substitute applesauce in those cases too.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that being good.
It's different. It's different, but you can substitute applesauce.
I want sugar.
Like if you don't have vegetable oil and trying to like make like a cake, it's like, oh, I don't have any vegetable oil. If you have applesauce for whatever fucking reason, you have that instead of vegetable oil in your house, you can use applesauce as a substitute.
But yeah, this is weird. This says from the UK Oreo website that they are not.
So maybe they're different in UK.
Who knows? Everything's different over there. They have these awesome ass cookies called digestives. You know what else they have over there?
That's a weird name for a cookie that's awesome.
I think they're over here too.
Digestives?
Yeah. Dude,
that sounds...
Lion bars.
Chocolate from England in general blows American chocolate out of the fucking water.
Yes.
Dude, all right, real quick. So I used to, when I've been to Disney like fucking like over a dozen times, probably like 15, 16 times in my entire life. I used to love going to Epcot, and I'd go to England, right? In Epcot in World Showcase, and they had like their shop or whatever. They had a bunch of different Cadbury chocolate bars, and you would look at it, and then it had all the metric measurements for all the caloric stuff on it. So you knew that it wasn't American. You knew it wasn't U.S. bullshit. Because they obviously sell Cadbury chocolate here, but it's under the license of the name. It's not the same. And you would eat it and you go, why is this so much better than the waxy bullshit they sell in the U.S.? It's, well, because they add wax to the chocolate in the U.S. to make it stretch it out so they can keep the prices lower and make more product. And I believe... So when I was there last, and just this past May, they still had Cadbury bars, but they all had English labels on them as in the English measurement system, like a regular caloric rather than the metric caloric system. So it's still, well, I think it's grams and stuff. So whatever it is, it's the English, and you could go, oh wait, and you could see the old ones had said imported by, which meant they came into the U.S. I don't believe you can legally get it here anymore, which is English chocolate.
Really?
So they're still selling it under the Cadbury name because the Cadbury name is licensed here in the U.S. and I think it's licensed by Hershey's. I might be wrong, but I think it's licensed by Hershey's. But actual Cadbury chocolate from England is like 1,000 times better than American chocolate. It's so fucking good.
I'm looking at. I discovered it's called a Lion Bar, and it's only overseas, and it is so good, dude. I don't even know what the fuck is inside of it.
It's Lion.
Crisp, good tasting is what Amazon.
There's bits of real panther in it, so it's real.
I love it. Like when the last time we were over there, a friend of mine who's his name is Mikey Hardman. He's English dude. And the last day we were leaving, he's like, "I bought you this," and he handed me a big ass fucking box of these Lion bars. I of course ate them before we even left England,
right?
And but they were just so good. And more I think about it, I think I ran into one of those bodega spots on Hurdle. One of those
like one of the halal
hookah
places?
bars, yeah. And I remember being like, "Oh, holy shit, they have them!" And I got to go back in there now because I really want a Lion bar. Now that I'm looking at them on
we need to check that out. I definitely want to get down with that. I'm all for trying.
It's from Nestle.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I just wonder why they're not in the States.
Well, the same reason that Nestle makes the Aero bar, which is actually a Canadian thing, but you can sometimes find them in the U.S.
Weird. With the coffee crisp?
Yeah, and Coffee Crisp and Aero bars, those are like super Canadian things, but I believe it's Nestle is the company that makes them.
So nuts.
And I'll see them from time to time, but it's always really random. Like the cider mill, out on Transit.
Yeah.
I saw that they had Aero bars, and Coffee Crisp when I was there this fall.
Did they have Lion bars?
I did not see Lion bars. What's the label? Pull up the label. Let me see what the label looks like. Maybe? I don't know. I also don't know why I assumed it was spelled Lyon, but...
It's a lion. There's a lion on there, baby.
That's fucking crazy.
Lion. Check it out.
The Voltron 5 Lions bar?
Voltron 5.
Dude.
Have you seen Ready Player One yet?
No. Since last week? No, I have not.
You gotta see it.
I did say that on last episode that I'd probably watch it when the baby went to bed. I did not.
You shithead.
I need to, though.
Sorry. I'm reading his second book, Armada, Ernest Cline. His name is, who wrote Ready Player One, the book. That book is nuts, Armada. It's kind of crazy. I love all the pop culture references, too. Like, he names off all these movies that you and I grew up on, like Alien and like Starship Troopers, like Independence Day. Like, what else was there? He's like, shit.
So all alien invasion flicks, it sounds like. Okay.
But what it is that he talks about how the world is obsessed with a video game. There's 2 video games, and there's like a Call of Duty based one and an aerial combat based one. They're the 2 most popular games in the world. Everybody in the world plays them, and what ends up happening is nobody actually knew it wasn't a video game. So they were playing at home, but they were actually fighting a real fucking battle, but they just thought it was a video game simulation. And what ends up happening is that...
That sounds like the disconnect that drone pilots have.
Yeah, it's...
How they're like at Niagara Falls Air Force Base flying a drone over Afghanistan.
Yeah. Literally, that's what it was. Like, wow. It's based off of. It's a really... I
mean, they're aware that there's battles, that there's people's lives at stake, but it doesn't affect you the same as being there.
No.
From what they say.
Totally not. Like,
So they're playing this video game.
I don't want to forget about this. It's kind of nuts, but they're playing this video game. They think it's a video game, but it's really a military simulation, and there's an actual alien attack happening, and they started drip feeding the population with Star Wars. Star Wars was the first, in the book, was the first military exercise into drip feeding the human race into aliens. And then all these movies started coming out and like all this. So the kids, he's like, well, is Stephen Hawking like in on it? And like, it's just kind of nuts. But he ends up finding out that he thought his dad was dead and shit, but his dad is a fucking general on the moon. And that's what I mean. Like, the Area 51 was a scout drone from the alien race that they end up shooting down, and they get all of this technology from this drone, and like that's just how it is. And it was just like it's just really crazy. And like right now, I'm at this point where they get to the moon. He meets his fucking dad, but there's something they're not telling us, and it's just kind of like very weird. And like I just can't wait to finish the book, I guess.
Jesus,
the whole disconnect thing that you were talking about, I don't know if we're allowed to even talk about it, but on Live Leak, there's videos of it now of the drone pilot, and he's firing on dudes who are carrying visible fucking weapons. There are AK-47s and RPGs, and you can hear them on the comm talking about how there's troops about to come in contact with this dude. So the dude, you can hear him in his voice. He's getting agitated because he doesn't want these dudes to shoot at American troops. So they get the order, and he just fucking lights them up. And the screen, it's all gray. Do you know what I mean? They don't see in color. Like, and I guess that the disconnect is definitely there because you're not taking in. You're just seeing dudes with fucking rockets and stuff like that. I guess
you're seeing an image rather than that person's in front of me. I've got the rifle on you at 100 yards. I've just capped you.
Yeah, and he's up in the sky, and he's looking at these dudes, but he's not really. They're not taking into concept that there are people inside of these buildings as well. And like there's like 15 dudes sitting there with their fucking RPGs and shit, and he unloads them. But at the same time, he's shooting, and the AC-130 or whatever he's in is making the arch, so it's like it's fucking up the aiming. So he unloads these dudes, and naturally there's a few strays that smash the houses and stuff like that. There's some casualties there, and it's just really weird that like that war over there. But there's definitely that disconnect. You're not thinking about in person. You have somebody in front of you. It's in color. You're aware of what's beyond your target and what your surroundings. But when you're up in the air looking at a
screen,
computer screen, 9,000 miles away or whatever it is, you're not thinking of that. You're just thinking of hitting your targets. It's so weird. And what ends up happening is they got in a lot of trouble. And it was really crazy too. He's like, there's like this divine intervention thing. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Maybe. Go on.
Like you hear the guy, he's like, come on, load. It's not shooting. It's not fucking shooting. It wasn't shooting at first. And then finally, the second attempt, he just unloads it. And then what ends up happening was, that's why I don't trust it. I might get shit for this. I don't trust anything anymore. That why would these people in a war zone fill up a car full of fucking kids and people and drive it into a war zone? It just seemed too planned.
I think the argument can be made that it's because there's a lack of concern or care for human life.
That, I guess.
And their war, which is, as I understand, largely religious based, is very much based in male dominance, and so children and women are incidental.
It was just weird.
It's again, things that I've heard stated from people who have far more to do with it than I do, and I have nothing to do with it, other than as the casual observer who, sees the stuff that comes up in his feed. So
yeah, so like that's what I mean. Like, so you witness a bunch of your team is about to get taken out, and then you see a bunch of dudes who you've just taken out with visible weapons and shit.
Yeah,
and then a van full of people shows up and starts pulling all of these bad guys in the van. So he's trying to shoot at this fucking van. Something jams, and he's like, fuck, it's jammed. And a few seconds goes by, and then he starts unloading on the van. And it turns out that there are like women and children in this van.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
I think in that case, they're saying, well, Americans value human life, kind of, sort of, at least civilians. So if there's women and children in this van, maybe they won't shoot on us.
Well, he had no idea that there was women and children in the van.
Well, if you're flying a drone, it's very difficult to tell that.
Up until he unloads everybody. Everybody's pretty much dead. The Americans show up, and you can hear the Americans. He's like, there's fucking kids in here. There are fucking kids. It was nuts. It's insane.
Wait, I can't imagine. And that's the disconnect that those guys have to deal with. So now that guy who thought it was just a dude rolling up who had more guys, who had more weapons.
That's what I mean. He totally
and he has no idea. So no, guess what happens to that guy? he is fucked up for the rest of his life because
totally
he just
got in
killed a
trouble.
bunch of not just that he got in trouble. How would he even know? To get in trouble is incidental. That guy's fucked up mentally the rest of his life because he killed a bunch of women and children, which I would like to think that there's no way he would have pulled the trigger on. Was he able to verify that?
And you know for a fact, he wouldn't have done that if he would have known. But like I said, he just shot up a bunch of bad dudes, and a van shows up carting these bad guys away. So he's just like, and they're talking about they're coming in contact. Shit's getting hot, and I would never know what that's like.
A soldier on the ground could definitely make that same mistake, but they also have the benefit of being there and being able to possibly have a visual advantage. Obviously, even if they have some kind of binocular or projected seeing device, that it's probably going to be in color that adds the depth of field and allows you to go, oh fuck, no, there's like those are children in there that you from the thing that's in the sky 10,000 feet or whatever it is above, even hundreds of feet above, where they can definitely accurately
totally different
shoot from. You have no idea what's inside that van, and so I don't know. Is there a protocol in place to say, hey, if you see a fucking van or a vehicle where you can't see inside of, you need to verify first that there's civilians inside, or you're in trouble if you kill them, or is it just like there isn't, and these guys that...
What's weird is, though, he got the okay. He asked for permission to engage the first group of guys.
Okay.
They said okay. He did his job. The van shows up. The gun jams. He asked for permission. There's like a weird divine intervention thing. Like, that's what I mean. Like, he had the chance to not shoot. Like, I just feel like fate took in there for a second.
He had the option to not shoot, and he was given the okay again?
Yeah.
So how did he get in trouble if he was given the okay?
That's the whole fucking weirdness about...
And again, I haven't seen this video at all. I'm not familiar with any of this stuff other than what you're telling me, so I didn't have a chance to watch it myself. But if that story is the story that stands, as black and white as it sounds, why is that guy getting in trouble?
That's the whole weirdness of the thing. But that guy got in a lot of trouble, and
then beyond that, then he now has to live with the fact that he unloaded a completely lethal weapon on women and children, civilians.
But my question is why was that civilian van full of that people in that area at the time?
Was it just incidental? They were driving by and saw some of their countrymen getting shot at by U.S. soldiers? Maybe.
I don't know.
I think doubtful, but maybe. Who knows? You never know. That's why war is fucking bullshit,
gone
dude.
Through the fucking rabbit hole again. Like, I've seen documentaries of I'm scared to even say anything. I don't know what to say. Like, I've seen documentaries of people planning that out. Do you know what I mean? Like, they fill the van full up of kids, and they planned on American troops fucking shooting at it so they could be like, see, it's just like a fucked up thing, and it's just like...
Which is what I had mentioned before. I knew, what you had said afterwards when I said that it was possible that it was done on purpose.
I feel like it was.
As a target, so that they could turn it and go, well, if they do, this diabolical, pseudo mastermind level fucking terrorism where it's like, they don't even know why they're in the van, and I don't know that that's the case. You could make an argument for either way. I don't know that we'll ever know the truth, and that's a single instance. It's probably happened hundreds to thousands of times in the last, how long is this for?
15 years or something like that. Something crazy.
15 or more.
Longer.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. We'll never be able to know half the shit.
And
we're not even allowed to know a lot of the shit too.
That's where you go, man. This is why I watch comedy exclusively.
Yeah.
This is why I stick to stand-up, and It's Always Sunny, where they're just beating each other over the heads with shit. It's just easier for me to do. And yes, you can SJW on me and say, well, you're not paying attention to things that matter. And like, they do matter, but since there's nothing that I can do here, well, I'm just trying to make my own way through life and pay my bills and take care of my kids in a place that I happen to be lucky enough to be born rather than over there. I feel awful. That's terrible, and I feel that anyone who's sane would feel the same way. But I don't know how much energy and emotion I can offer to it. Can.
And how old are you?
I'll be 40 next year.
The military age cutoff is at 35. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Yeah.
What else can
you could sign up, bro? I'm like, no. And I've said historically, not necessarily here, but as anyone who knows me, like, look, all the respect and love in the world for our men and women of service. Any non-binary non-binaries and non-gender conforming, whoever it is that's serving in our military forces that allow me to do what I'm doing with you right now.
Yeah.
Fucking respect.
Yeah.
Respect. I salute you. Absolutely,
it.
110%. I back you guys. People, I back everyone. See what I'm doing? It's fucking ridiculous. But it's whatever. Absolutely. But thank you so much for being the person to do that so that I don't have to.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
I mean, that's where I get confused. I feel like I
had this guy that I worked with at Cheesecake, John, who he was an Iraq vet, and he's got a Purple Heart. He was involved in a roadside bombing thing where he was driving a Humvee, and there's these Kevlar blankets that they have, and I don't know exactly what they typically use them for, but he had it like draped over the back of his seat, and his CO, his commanding officer, had yelled at him, and it's like, dude, get that put away, it's not supposed to be, for whatever reason, it wasn't supposed to be over the back of his seat. And he yelled at him and told him to put it away. He's like, yeah, I'll take care of it. And he didn't. And then this roadside bomb goes off. And I feel like him telling me that he was the only one in the vehicle to survive because this blanket stopped a bunch of the shrapnel.
Shit.
Lost all of his hearing in his left ear. Had some reconstructive surgery, nerve damage to where I don't think he can even feel most of his left hand. That's all he suffered. I mean, not to say that's all he suffered, but that's all he suffered because he didn't listen to his commanding officer and put that blanket away. And I feel like if not everyone else in the vehicle, somebody else in the vehicle died as a result of that.
Yes, totally.
And so this is a guy who's like this is a real dude, John. That just a real and the nicest guy, like the most jovial, fucking joking, like just super. And I said, dude, I don't know how you do what you do. I said I would love and respect you for it. I said I'm so grateful that there's people like you to do it because I could never do that. And he, like others have said to me, he goes, if you were called to action, you would do it. You'd step up. And I'm like, I don't think so. And I wouldn't. The reason I say that, and I know there's like the potential of like, oh, so you're leaving your fellow man behind. So like you have to go do this. You're over there, and then you're the guy that goes AWOL because you don't want to fucking be there, and then your platoon gets fucking killed.
Yeah.
I don't want that either on me. What I'm saying is I'd probably off myself so that no one I'm no longer liability to anybody because I'm not there. Like I don't know.
I'm
like,
just waiting. I'm honestly waiting for them to say some shit like that. Like. I'm waiting for them to get rid of the cutoff point. They're going to try super hard to unite the world, and there's going to be some sort of race where we're all ended up fucking enlisting. I'm my hope, my dearest hope is that within maybe our grandkids' lifetime, fingers crossed, that the majority of this kind of war will be done. I really hope Who knows?
Everyone can be in contact with everyone in the world in any given moment via social media. That in itself, I think, is an incredible feat of human engineering and a blessing to a degree. There's also the potential for people on Twitter to be complete cunts because you're nowhere near where I am, so I can say whatever I want to you and be a complete piece of shit. Have you ever read YouTube comments? We've gone over this before. You read the YouTube comments. I won't bother. I don't care about what your opinion is because it's on anything.
Sometimes I read them.
I won't do it. It's just, I won't do it. Because there's just so much hatred and vitriol.
Oh, yeah,
that's
totally.
what I go, my life is a struggle, but how fucking terrible is your existence? How awful is what you've got going on in your life
you need to go out of your way,
just go out of your way. And in saying that, and I'll call myself out about this given the recent Kevin Hart situation with him stepping down from hosting the Oscars because of some older tweets that were homophobic in nature. I didn't read them. I don't know whether or not they were comedic in nature. I would bet that they probably argue him that he's a comedian. I don't think he was probably espousing his opinion about gay people. I highly doubt that personally, but I haven't read them, full disclosure. But for him to initially not apologize and definitely not take them down, but step down from the hosting duties or his nomination to do it or whatever, totally respect the guy for that. Because you're a comedian, it's a fucking joke. He eventually did still say that, he wasn't going to remove the tweets, but he did apologize to the LGBTQ community via another tweet later, which, cool, but you still didn't have to do that. As far as me and most people are concerned, you didn't have to do that. We get that it's a joke. You're a fucking comedian. You're one of the biggest comedians in the history of the world.
Excuse me.
So that, that's a bit ridiculous. To that point, there was a video that I watched on YouTube a year or two ago, maybe, of Jay Moore, and I just think he fucking sucks.
Who?
Jay Moore. He's a comedian. He's an actor. He's been in some stuff. He hasn't been in anything in a while. He had a TV show or two. He's done a bunch of stand-up. I think he was on Last Comic Standing as a judge, maybe. Don't quote me on that. Doesn't have a high profile as a comedian anymore, as far as I know. I know that he got into a huge verbal argument with Andrew Dice Clay somewhat recently, and Clay was like, I'll fucking destroy you. He goes, oh man, I'm from Jersey. And he goes, I'm from fucking Brooklyn, bitch, because that's Andrew Dice Clay. Whatever the point, I made a comment on the video of something like, he's a piece of shit and he should die. And that's harsh. It was late. I was tired. Not an excuse. It just is what it is. It was probably a year later that somebody commented back to me on my comments of, man, what the fuck's wrong with you? That's a horrible thing to say. I'm like, well, what are you doing up at 3 a.m. reading my comment from a year ago in a video that's 4 years old?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's why I don't read the comments anymore. I don't get myself involved. I would have to go track down the fucking video to find my comment to delete it. I'm not running for president. I'm not running for an office.
See, that's so weird. That is one thing I guess I will take as a plus from Cute, is the amount of fucking hatred our band got. I could sit there and we'll listen to you rip on me and my band, and I'll laugh with you about it. Like, it's just so weird. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't know why.
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter. That's why.
I guess
it doesn't matter.
Like,
and I think we should, because we're getting high into this there. I think I should leave it with this, and it's something that Rogan said about that. He said it to Neil deGrasse Tyson. He said it to Elon Musk. He said it to a lot of people far smarter and more brilliant and powerful than any of us will ever be. Is those people, in specific those two, reading, specifically I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson too, reading the comments and stuff on YouTube or Twitter, or battling back on stuff. He goes, look, you're wasting your time. He goes, there's 7+ billion people on this planet. You're going to have a huge fucking handful of assholes. They don't deserve your time. Stop wasting your time responding to these fucking twats, because they don't fucking matter.
They're assholes. And
that's the case.
We're dicks.
And it's the truth.
And dicks
it doesn't
fuck
matter.
assholes.
They're, on occasion, especially if she lets you. So I'm just saying that
Team America.
No, was it? Sorry.
Or it was Team America.
I'm sorry. I took that in a different direction.
But true.
It doesn't, their opinion doesn't matter. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's great. But some of those opinions are not valid.
No.
And that's why, go fuck yourself, YouTube comments. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great week. Next week is Christmas. If we get our shit together, we got the studio going here, some Christmas decorations. We got some ideas for the walls and stuff. We definitely got a tree rocking out with some really bright lights. Fingers crossed it'll go live.
Don't we have a guest of special honor?
Possibly. She may or may not come by. It's probably just going to be the two of us, which is definitely, I just think because it's going to be the first time on camera, it might be better if it's just us, because then it's less chaos. And I know how I look at a side profile, and it's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to be there.
What if, never mind. I was going to say maybe help out with the searching.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
But just say maybe I don't know. I was excited to have a special guest of honor. Anyone in general.
I think, and for sure. I just honestly, being the Christmas episode, I just kind of want it to be you and me.
Fine.
All right, everybody. When we get the links together, whether it's Twitch or YouTube, whatever we're going to be streaming on, fingers crossed the stream will happen. There will be a video. It might not go up that day, but there will be a video for sure. But definitely, possibly a stream. We'll put all that stuff out. I'll make sure that's all out on Instagram, on Twitter. It's Nick Huber on Instagram. It is at Apartment 83 Podcast on Twitter. It's Tom is Alive on Twitter and
just Tom Falcone
on Instagram. We'll hit you up with all the extra information. We'll let you know. At least hopefully a couple days in advance of that. We will be off for the week of Christmas, so everybody have a great time. Take care of each other. Be sweet and wonderful, and ho 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 and all that good shit. And Santa's a fat man with a graying beard, just like me.
Goodbye.
Peace.